Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 4, Chapter 32. The Path to the Presence. This day, three learned Pandits, scholars, spoke on Advaita, philosophy of non-dualism, and Avatar Tattva, essential nature of incarnation, and on the Lord of Mathura. They have appeased your hunger in full. When the stomach is full, anything extra is bitter. But a bit of pickle may be welcome. That I shall give you now. Birth as a human being is a unique chance for living beings, for man is endowed with discriminating intelligence, the power to reason out the best among alternative courses. Man is far from the Pashu, animal, closer to the Pashupati, Lord of beings. He should not relapse into Pashutva, animality. Listening to Krishnamurti Shastri expounding the Bhagavata, the sweet story of Krishna told in sweet Sanskrit and explained so sweetly, you should imbue the prema with which the story is filled. The Bhagavata has the majesty of Silam, virtue. It has the majesty of Kriya, action. It has also the majesty of Bhava, feeling. By majesty I mean Ughata, elevation. What a grandeur you witness in the Ramayana, for example. When Ravana fell, Rama sent Lakshmana to the place with a message to see that he is treated like the emperor of Lanka and not a despised enemy. Lakshmana, when he was called in to identify the ornaments of Sita contained in the bundle she had thrown on the ground during the fight to captivity, declared that he could identify only the toe rings of his sister-in-law. He saw only those ornaments, for he prostrated every day at her feet as the consort of the elder brother is, according to the Shastras, equal to one's own mother. Now it is impossible to find such virtue holding sway over men's minds. Now it is egotism, pride, and greed that sway them. Importance of moral standards. Man has lost the fear of a fall. He has become worse than animals. It was not like this in the past. During previous centuries, Rajput women immolated themselves rather than fall into the hands of wicked foes. When Hanuman offered to take Sita on his shoulder back to Rama, the virtue of Sita would not allow her to accept the offer. She had her husband's reputation in view. She said that it would best suit her husband's fame if he himself avenges the wrong and rescues her. Hanuman's taking her would be a repetition of what Ravana did, for he too stole her secretly while Rama was away. She did not consider her immediate relief as more important than the implications of that step to her virtue and her husband's fair name. That is what I call Silo Datta, virtue in exaltation. Or take the Mahabharata. The Yaksha who guarded the lake had killed all the four brothers and they were lying on the ground. Dharmaraja, the eldest brother, went there to slake his thirst and the Yaksha warned him too. He challenged him to answer his question just as he had asked the others. But since he replied correctly, the Yaksha was pleased to grant him a boon. He could bring back to life one among the four who lay dead. And whom did Dharmaraja select? Not Bhima, who would be his right hand in the coming battle against the Kauravas, not Arjuna, who was indispensable as a bowman of the highest attainments, but Nakula, the son of his stepmother Madri. Even the Yaksha was surprised. He asked him the reason why. Dharmaraja said that his mother had him as the one surviving son. But his stepmother too should have a son alive. That was the measure of his attachment to Dharma, to virtue, to normal standards. Then people lived for the sake of Dharma. Now the ideal is Dana, riches. When Duryodhana had at last to be encountered a single combat, he himself selected a foeman worthy of his reputation, Bhima. When he could as well have chosen a weaker rival, it was considered improper to fight with a weaker foe. Gopi's prema to Krishna was superphysical. It all lies in the vision that you command, that you have equipped yourself with. One of the Shastris spoke of certain doubts which he himself had felt about me, doubts which kept him away for some years. The love of the gopis towards Krishna has led many ignorant people enmeshed in worldly attachments and physical attractions to turn their faces away from God. Before passing judgment on any subject, you must investigate closely. The prema of the gopis towards Krishna was superphysical, the love of the soul for the oversoul, of the river for the sea. Persons deep in this type of love see nothing else, hear nothing else. They behave like mad persons as the world goes. Their love, when they feel his presence, is as supreme as their grief when they feel they are deprived of it. That is why among the songs of the saints you have Ninda Stuti also, that is to say, songs which blame him for being cruel, partial, negligent, etc. You may know that the Lord of the holy shrine Sri Sailam is called Mallikarjun for white jasmine, and the goddess, the consort, is called most appropriately Brahmaramba, the bee, for the bee is drawn inescapably to the flower and it forgets itself while tasting the glory of the flower. The union of Jiva and Brahman is of the same significance as the union of Krishna and Trishna, Krishna and the thirst, the Lord and the love. Doubt leads to perdition, spiritual ruin. The children of the Sanskrit school enacted the play Markandeya yesterday, and you saw the boys who took the role of Marudvati and Markandeya completely immersed in the role, and so they were able to make you also feel every emotion they expressed. You must fill yourself with the form and the glory of the Lord. You must not be aware of anything else. Then you too can become Madhava. There are two 8-syllabled axioms in the Gita which you must take to heart. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam and sanshayasma vinashtati. The first tells you that the person who is steady in his faith gains the knowledge of the path of liberation, and the second warns against the sinister consequence of doubt. Doubt leads to perdition, spiritual ruin. Dwell on the axioms and practice the spiritual discipline of namasmarana, japam or dhyanam. This is the pursuit that is worthy, not the pursuit of fame nor the friendship of the famous. You ask for grace which is available only at a very high cost, but you pay only trash. It is sheer avarice, like asking a gourd as extra, when you have paid only for a bean. You may claim that you have been coming to Puttaparthi for 10 or 12 or 16 years, or that you have even stayed here long. But it is not the years that matter. It is the depth to which the roots of karma have grown in previous births. They decide the ears of corn that you have to live upon. It takes a long time and systematic sadhana to clear the field of all those growths. The sadhana, as the Shastri said, of karma and upasana, which leads to jnana. 3 stages in spiritual awareness. This is the meaning of the injunction that you should dip thrice in succession when you take a bath in any holy river. The first dip is to cleanse the stula sharira, the gross physical body. The second is to cleanse the sukshma sharira, the subtle body. Of the Pranamaya, the Manomaya, and the Vijnanamaya koshas, sheets of vital energy, body, and knowledge. And the third is to cleanse the Karana Sharira, the casual body, or the Vijnanamaya kosha, with just a tinge of Maya still left. They are also meant to consecrate the karma and the upasana sadhanas and confer jnana. Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and Advaita are also only three stages of spiritual awareness. Somashekara Shastri spoke of the Dvaita and Advaita, dual and non-dual attitudes which color people's outlook in every field. But they are not distinct. They are stages of mental transformation. The fruit is the same. The soil and the sun make it reach the ripe stage, through intermediate stages of tender fruit and mature fruit. When you realize that the Lord is at the address that He has given towards the end of the Gita in the 61st sloka of the 18th chapter, namely, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hardase Arjuna Tishtati, that is, He is in the heart of every being, then you know the one with no other. To realize the Lord in every being, you must cultivate prema and drive out the bats that infest the dark caverns of your heart, the bats of hate, envy, and malice. Let the light of prema illumine your thoughts, your words, your movements, your activities, your judgments. When you become transmuted into prema, the Lord, who is Prema Swarupa, will reveal Himself to you and play on the flute, awakening your higher consciousness in the flood of universal love. Sadhana is essential because the effects of karma have to be removed by karma alone, as a thorn is removable only by another thorn. You cannot remove it by a knife or a hammer or even a sword. The knowledge that the world is unreal was itself spread by Shankaracharya by means of activity in the unreal world. The establishment of mats, the writing of books, and the partaking in disputations. You cannot desist from arm, only you have got to take care that it is saturated with prema and promotes the welfare of the world. The grand combination. Tomorrow again, the path of the presence of the Lord will be explained by these Pandits as well as by me, whoever may speak. Whatever the text, the substance is the same. In no other place can you have this grand combination. Pandits who expound, as if to their own kith and kin, the great truths contained in the scriptures with such faith and devotion, and a congregation of listeners which listens with devoted avidity, eager to learn and practice what they learn. You must be devoted as a boy who studied in the ashram of Daumya Rishi, when the Guru was conducting his lesson assiduously. The rain came in torrents and the boys ran helter-skelter to roll up their beds or collect their clothes, or save their kusa grass bundles. But one boy reasoned out within himself, "We had heavy rains last evening too, so this downpour will certainly damage the dike." So, to save the 2 acres of land that the Guru owned, he went and laid himself across the breach. You must so act that the heart of the Guru melts at your devotion. Only that will cleanse the mind of evil and vice. If you develop devotion and steady faith, you will achieve the glory of self-realization. Prashanti Nilayam, October 11th, 1964. After long searches here and there, in temples and in churches, in earths and in heavens, at last you come back, completing the circle from where you started to your own soul, and find that He, for whom you have been seeking all over the world, for whom you have been weeping and praying in churches and temples, on whom you were looking as the mysteries of all mysteries shrouded in the clouds. In the nearest of the near is your own self, the reality of your life, body, and soul. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.